In the late 19th century, the British Empire, the world's greatest economic power, ruled India with an iron fist. However, the British governors and soldiers faced an insidious enemy they had never accounted for: tens of thousands of venomous cobras infesting the streets of Delhi. British officials were so terrified of this lethal threat that they could barely step outside their secure compounds. To solve the issue, they applied classic, arrogant, administrative logic. If you cannot solve a problem with military force, you simply buy it out with capital. The British administration enacted a policy they believed was flawless. A cash bounty would be paid to the public for every dead cobra brought in. On paper, the plan was brilliant. The impoverished population would scour every corner of the city to earn this money, hunt down the snakes, and at the end of the day, the streets of Delhi would be completely cleansed of cobras. Initially, the system worked exactly as intended. Every day, people brought sacks full of dead cobras to British offices and collected their cash in return. The British were incredibly proud of themselves for solving this dangerous crisis using free market dynamics. However, the British had forgotten one fundamental rule. Human nature is hardwired to manipulate any set of rules to its own advantage. A few months later, the administrators noticed a bizarre detail in the statistics. Despite paying out thousands of pounds for dead snakes, cobra sightings and attacks on the streets of Delhi were not decreasing at all. The brutal truth soon hit the British like a slap in the face. The local Indian population had long abandoned the dangerous and exhausting task of hunting snakes in the streets. Instead, they had set up secret cobra farms in the basements of their homes. Because if a dead cobra is worth money, a live cobra is no longer a dangerous animal. It is a factory that endlessly prints cash. The locals had literally shifted to mass production, breeding tens of thousands of new cobras for the sole purpose of selling them back to the British government to get rich. Realizing they were funding their own enemy and had become the victims of a massive, systemic scam, the British administration furiously cancelled the bounty program immediately. From that moment on, not a single penny would be paid for a dead cobra. This is exactly the second the real catastrophe struck. The moment the bounty system collapsed, the tens of thousands of cobras being bred in the locals' basements lost all financial value. Keeping and feeding them was no longer a profitable enterprise, it was just a deadly liability. The farmers did the only economically rational thing left to do. They released all their cobras into the streets.